Hi, I'm Ollie. I got an A star in A-level politics, and in this video I'm going to talk you through what AO1, AO2 and AO3 are in A-level politics. And these are really key because they're how you're going to be marked by the examiners. They'll ultimately determine your final grade and the marks you get in each question. So AO stands for assessment objectives, and each of AO1, AO2 and AO3 are worth a third of your marks. So in a 30 marker you get 10 marks for AO1, which is knowledge, 10 marks for AO2, which is analysis, and 10 marks for AO3, which is evaluation. And understanding these is really important because often people will see a question, they'll look at a question on liberalism or voting behaviour, and they'll simply go and write down everything they know about liberalism or everything they know about voting behaviour. And that's understandable. You've put a lot of time into your revision, you've learned a lot in class, and you want to demonstrate to the examiner that that's what you know. But if you do that, you won't do well because ultimately that's only knowledge, and that's only 10 out of 30 of the possible marks that you can get. So AO1 is knowledge. It's about demonstrating knowledge and understanding of political institutions, processes, concepts, theories and issues. This is ultimately the content that you've learned in the exams. It's specific examples. It's explaining political processes and that really specific knowledge in relation to the particular question. But that knowledge isn't enough. Ultimately, you also really need to make sure you're picking up enough marks for AO2, which is analysis, and AO3, which is evaluation. So what do these mean? AO2, when we talk about analysis, what it effectively means is really analysing that knowledge and demonstrating how it supports a particular point on either side of the question. So the essay question is asking you about a particular debate and asking you to come up with an answer. In order to do so, you need to come up with points on either side of the debate. You need to explain those points really effectively and explain how your knowledge supports those points. And that's what the analysis is. It's effectively selecting clear and effective points and really explaining them well for either side of the debate. So, and that comes both before and after examples in your main paragraph. So you should really clearly explain your point very clearly in relation to the question using the terms of the question. And in that explanation, you're beginning to pick up those AO2 analysis marks. Then you want to bring in your knowledge to support it. That specific knowledge, really well-selected knowledge to support that point. And that will often be, okay, what's the best example that demonstrates the point that I've made? Or what's a specific political process I need to explain to support that point? So it should be really linked to that analysis as well. But you should then also analyse after that specific example, after that knowledge. And that's how you're going to pick up a lot of AO2 marks. So after you've brought in a specific example where you're picking up those AO1 marks, you then really clearly demonstrate and show how that supports the point effectively. And then finally, AO3 is evaluation. That's where in the knowledge and analysis, you've put strong points on either side and you've backed them up with evidence. Evaluation is ultimately saying which side do you agree with and really effectively justifying why. And that's in your introduction, in your